Kid Hollywood Podcast, straight from Las Vegas, SPANDEX Nation! So dust off those spandex and power up with some mac and cheese. We're gonna relive those days from 1980 to 89 with me, Kid Hollywood from SPANDEX Nation! Welcome to the Kid Hollywood Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the famous Jack Russell from my favorite heavy metal band, Great White. And my favorite guitar player of all time, the amazing Eddie Van Halen. Also, I have a very special friend joining us today, the incredible Nicky Rocket, the drummer from SPANDEX Nation! So let's get this party started. All right, let's get right to it. Talking about Jack Russell, ladies and gentlemen, from Great White. Stick it! Down on your knees, down on your knees, down on your knees. If you listen to Jack Russell today, he sounds incredible like he did back in the day. I am so blown away at how Jack Russell still sounds awesome. So many of us, and me too, have taken a toll on our voices. He sounds like a kid still to this day. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about Jack Russell too. We call it the Kid Hollywood Heavy Metal Trading Cards. So he's about 17, 18 years old, and he gets involved in a situation where he was on PCP, had a gun, and blacked out, ended up getting in trouble, went to jail. He was given 8 years in jail. 8 years! This lead singer from Great White. But nobody knew this. It's so crazy. But out of a bunch of mishaps and clerical errors, he got out in 11 months, 6 days before the amazing Great White band was going to play at the Troubadour. I probably had a $5 ticket for Doug Weston's Troubadour on Santa Monica to go see the show. Little did I know, 6 days before that, Jack Russell was being released from jail by clerical errors, or else he was going to serve 8 years. And he had like a beard and like bell bottoms. And he said they cleaned him up. They put like Jordache jeans on him or spandex. And 6 days later, he was, boom, playing that show. Amazing. So, Jack Russell, you rock, man. Here's one of my favorite songs. It's called Rock Me. You're listening to the Kid Hollywood Podcast.
Search the world for someone I'll never find. Someone who waits that is kind. Ooh, if you stay the night, oh yeah, make the wrong seem right. So come on now, rock me, rock me, roll me through the night. Rock me, roll me through the night. Rock me, roll me through the night. Around in love tonight.
Hey guys, welcome to the Kid Hollywood Podcast. It's time for the Kid Hollywood Treasure Chest. All right, but first I want to tell you about this cool story. I was about 16, 17 years old, and I was on my way to a party on a Friday night. Needed to get some gas, so I got some gas, putting the nozzle into the gas tank, and I'm sitting there just thinking, and I see some cool breeze coming towards me on his beach cruiser. I was like, whoa, check this guy out. He's all tan with his beach cruiser and his macrame tank top, and he's fit. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's David Lee Roth. And I ran right into the convenience store and went up to him. Oh, Mr. Roth, oh, you're amazing. And, what are you doing here? He said in his Diamond Dave type voice, he's like, Well, I'm just recovering from partying last night. And I was like, wow, you're amazing. And, he was so nice, and he took off on his beach cruiser. And do you know he didn't buy a pack of smokes? He didn't get a bottle of Jack. He didn't go get, a 6-pack of beer. He left with the orange juice and a Snickers. Mind-blowing, man. Awesome story with David Lee Roth, man. Just kicking it on a Friday night in Pasadena, California. That was trippy. All right, guys. Now, I want to share this clip with you of this bootleg tape of Van Halen playing in a nightclub. Playing covers before they were the amazing, almighty Van Halen. It is so cool to hear them just, Alex is back there. I'm sure Eddie had his back turned around. So no one could see what he was doing. And anyway, it's a really bad, quality tape. But hey, it's a bootleg tape. We wanted to hear this. So I'm going to just play a little excerpt of it, okay? So check this out.
Friends, we having troubles with a loved one. Perhaps you'd be wise to take a little advice from Dr. Dave.
Wow, how cool was that? Van Halen playing in a nightclub, playing some Aerosmith. All right, but Diamond Dave still had that chatter, man. It was amazing. Okay, so let's get back to it, man. Here's a little Van Halen from the greatest album, 1984. Here's Jump.
Jump! you, kid?
Oh my gosh, I miss you so much, man.
Miss you too. How are you doing?
Good. We're still healthy. How about you guys? Dude, we're staying home for Nevada. And I'm just really wishing everybody a lot of help, and anybody that's lost someone to this horrible disease, God bless you, and my heart goes out to you guys. Hey, Nikki, what about all the heroes? Our friend Buck, Metro right here, our police department, our first responders, ambulance, the workers at our hospitals here. I mean, thank you to everybody, man. Thank you guys so much for today. I was able to go to the grocery store, Nikki. I got up really early, and there was toilet paper, there was paper towels, there was meat, there was everything, and these workers were so nice. And I
can tell you got up and went to the store today because you did your hair today.
I did my hair, and I'm a little chunky, man. I'm barely fitting in my outfits, Nikki. This is not good. Listen, man, thank you for coming today. We're going to be doing something that's called the Kid Hollywood Heavy Metal Hall of Fame. All right, man. So this is where we're going to honor some amazing people just because I have my own Hall of Fame in my mind. So since this is the Kid Hollywood podcast, what better place to have it happen than right here with my good friend Nikki.
Absolutely.
Hey, so check this out, man. We're going to be honoring Eddie Van Halen. What do you think?
Why wouldn't you?
No, seriously, man. I mean, at the end of the day, greatest guitar player of all time. And, there's going to be plenty of honoring going on around here. But Our first guy, I mean, Eddie Van Halen. I mean, right? He used to play like this.
His back behind the crowd, yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was blown away. He did an interview, and he was talking about how his mom and dad from Holland, mom from Indonesia, dude, they got the dad was a musician. He got a gig on a ship going to America, and that's how they actually got over here.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then Alex and Eddie, they played instruments, man. So while the dad was performing, he called them up, and they got up there and killed. And, they were at the captain's table for, the next night. And they really felt how amazing it feels when the crowd appreciates a gift that you have, and then you share it with the world. It's scary to share your gift to the world, until people start embracing it. And then you start to feel good about it,
Yeah.
But I was just really blown away with the story of how they got here. And obviously, I was also blown away that, Eddie was the one that was playing the drums. And when he would split somewhere, Alex would jump on the kid and be up, and I know a lot of people know that, man. But it was just awesome to see Eddie with his own mouth after all these years, right? Just say it, and he also said, this is what blew me away, dude. Did in Panama when it goes, reach down between my legs and ease the seat back.
It's the revving.
Yeah, there's a whoo, which, I know you and I talked about it and we thought it was a blow dryer.
Yeah, I thought it was a blow dryer. But
it turned out to be a Lamborghini, and it's his 1972 Miura S Lamborghini, and he still has it to this day, man. But that was his car revving it up, and how cool that must have been,
Oh, definitely.
A friend of mine was actually his guitar tech for a minute, and he said Eddie would arrive to the to the studio on a motorcycle with a helmet, and he'd just be like, vroom, vroom, come into the studio. You wouldn't know who it was, and then he pulled his helmet off. You're like, oh my God, that's Eddie Van Halen.
They said he's so shy that that's why he doesn't do a lot of interviews and stuff like that. He's just shy.
Yeah, well, man, it was cool because he had Wolfie and Alex there in the audience. And, it was really cool to see how blessed he felt to be able to play with his brother
Yeah.
all these years. Like, like you play with Ricky, that was gonna be
I was
amazing, dude.
gonna say that's how I feel every day.
How crazy is that? Tell us
Yeah.
your Van Halen story.
So I got a couple fun facts here about Van Halen, but to start this off at the top, I mean, why won't we show some right? Some 1984 Van Halen.
Dude, best record.
It's got this.
Whoa! Oh my gosh.
So this vinyl here is near and dear to my heart because it's got obviously one of their biggest songs. Is their only number one song was Jump. Their only number one, and it's got my all-time favorite Hopper teacher, Top Jimmy. List goes on, right? But if you don't have a song, if you never heard it, you're missing out. I'm just saying. And it's the last album that David Lee Roth was on before the new guy took over. But enough about that. Some fun facts I have about Eddie Van Halen here. So, as we were talking about, when they're playing the club circuit in the 70s, they're obviously doing the LA Sunset Boulevard, most iconic to all these famous 80s bands. But when Van Halen was out there doing it, they were doing something very special that others were not doing, especially Eddie. And so when he would play live, he would have his back turned to the crowd. And so one night, so happened, Gene Simmons and Kiss happened to walk into the Whiskey A Go-Go and happened to see this band playing. And, everyone's like, oh my God, what's that going on? What's happening? So, of course, Gene Simmons being Gene Simmons, he wanted to know what was going on and who it was. So he met him after the show and got the information. He's like, you know what? I can help you guys out. I can help you guys land a record deal. Let me take you underneath my wing and let's go forward. Long story short, they did it for a few months. Gene did like a 15 demo song, a 15 demo album for Van Halen, and shopped it around to numerous record companies. And Gene had to go back on tour, so he had to basically break up the contract that he had. Like, hey, look, I helped you guys out for a little bit, got your name out there. When I come back from tour from Japan, if you guys have not been signed, I'll help you guys out some more because I really love you guys. And so, behold, of course, Gene left on tour with Kiss in Japan for Destroyer. Van Halen got signed that fast. I mean, and then right off the bat, I mean, they were already making, records. So when Gene came back, Eddie felt that he owed Gene like a favor and said, hey, let me help you out. And what can I do to repay you? And Gene's like, well, you know what? We're writing a new album. How about you help us write some music? And lo and behold, this is the part I found that's interesting. Eddie Van Halen wrote a lot of songs for the album Love Gun. But only one song made it to the album. And that one song, where his guitar riffs, his piano, background vocals were all used, was Christine 16. I mean, I would have never known that. And on top of that, Ace Frehley had to play Eddie Van Halen guitar parts. I mean, it's crazy, right?
Not cool. I mean, that must have been like a ooh.
And then two other fun facts here about Eddie Van Halen, since he's the Almighty. He's probably on everyone's number one list of guitar players on the face of this earth. I mean, he's probably number one out on everybody's because he is such an amazing artist. He's done stuff that others never dreamed about, and he writes amazing music, right? But he also doesn't know how to read music. Do you know that? Does not know how to read sheet music, and he's also listed as an inventor for the U.S. Patent Office for creating 3 patents. So not only the guitar player, a composer, and so forth, now he's an inventor. Right?
Yeah, it's funny because those two things, like he was talking about like how he wanted his guitar to have either like 1 humbucker or 2 humbuckers, and the body didn't fit that, so he'd go and take something apart, and then he'd like take a pickup out of that guitar that he loved and put it into this body. And then you saw the Shredder, he had like an official Eddie Van Halen guitar, and it was all Mickey Mouse together. And he said that's because that's how Eddie made it, and he was always trying to tinker with stuff, and boom, turns out he ended up probably making these patents because it was something he was determined, to make it sound the way he wanted. That's so crazy, isn't it?
So this patent that he actually went to the U.S. Patent Office. So this is what it says. It was a support system for his guitar, right? So it was like this board which attaches the guitar to the back of it, and it's holding it parallel to the floor during the performance. And it's like in the perfect position to do the tapping, to get the actual tapping sounds just right. So that was his actual patent from the U.S. Patent Office. Did he ever use it live? I don't know. I mean, it would have been kind of weird to see, like, hey, pull up my board real quick so I can put my guitar in there. Like,
right.
He just ended up learning just to hold it a certain way, just perfect, so he can get the right notes that he needed to. Again, because he was one of the first ones to ever come out with tapping on a guitar. That's probably the drum. That's probably the drummer side of him coming out.
No doubt. That's pretty cool. Oh my gosh, dude. No, Eddie Van Halen, the almighty Eddie, man. Go check him out on YouTube, and that way you can see how amazing he was if you don't know who he is. Anyway, man, I just wanted to honor him and say thank you so much to Eddie. I was just going to say also, when you were saying that he did a lot of things with his guitar playing, he actually was one of the first people that I really feel really broke the barriers in the 80s when he was on Beat It.
Oh, absolutely.
So, because Michael Calden, do you think you can come over and play on my record? It's a song called Beat It. I think it would be perfect.
Yep.
And it was rumored that Michael never paid him to do that, but Eddie just wanted to, he went over on his motorcycle, I think. He went over on his bike and laid it down and left,
Yeah.
When it was like in those days when Michael called, you just go.
If you called me, I would have gone too.
Crazy, man. Anyway, Nikki, thank you so much for coming today and spending some time with us, man. Have an awesome day, man. Do you want to send any shout outs to anybody?
I just want everyone to stay home, stay safe, and take care of yourselves so we can get back on stage. That's all I can.
We thank you, Nikki. I think it's going to happen really soon. America has responded amazingly.
Absolutely.
So, all right, brother. Have an awesome day, man. Bye, Nikki. All right, we'll be right back. Thanks, Nikki. Thank you so much for tuning into the Kid Hollywood Podcast. Catch you next time when we relive those days from 1980 to 89. One nation under rock, indivisible, with liberty and metal for all. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Spandex Nation LV, and of course on Facebook, simply look us under Spandex Nation!